We are delighted to be joined on the line by the four-time winning Irish Derby jockey and current flat trainer, Johnny Murtagh, head of the 2023 Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby, part of a great weekend of racing on the flat at the Curragh. The big race going to post at 3:40 on Sunday. Johnny, great to talk to you as always. How's the form?
Yeah, Evan's good, John. Things are going well. We had a winner last night, which is always good. Horses are in good form. Looking forward to the big weekend.
Were you expecting the winner?
We were actually, yeah. He was a nice horse. He ran fourth first time out. Yeah, he's a nice horse. We think he's a nice horse going forward. He's owned by the Aga Khan and by Shamardal. So bigger days ahead with him.
You've been hanging around with Johnny Velasquez, the American jockey, this morning, I believe.
Yes, no, he called me there. He's over. He's been over in the UK and Ireland for the last couple of weeks. He came in there and he wanted to ride out, just show him around the Curragh. Like, it's amazing. He's ridden so many Group 1s in America, but still he wants to come over and, you know, get the atmosphere and just to probably do something different. You know, he's in his early 50s now. He's won everything that has to be won, but there's great excitement about him getting a ride in Royal Ascot, coming and seeing the racing in Ireland. He walked the Derby track. And I think if Dermot Well runs the horse in the Derby, he's going to be riding. So huge excitement. Huge excitement. It was great to have him in. All the guys got a great kick. And I also had a bunch of the Darley Flying Start. It's 20 years of the Darley Flying Start. And there's a big get-together tonight. So some of them came in and there was a couple from America. So when they see John Velasquez riding out this morning, they got a great kick out. It was really a great morning, actually, really good.
Did you ride against him when you're at Breeders' Cups and stuff, Johnny?
I did. I rode against him in the Breeders' Cup. I rode against him in the Jockeys Challenge in Japan. So you get to know these guys. And I was just saying that this morning, you know, speaking to everybody, it's amazing sport, racing. You know, I left school at 15, never rode a horse till I was 15. Now I'm going around the world meeting these, you know, top jockeys, top owners, top trainers. And when they come to Ireland, they always want to come in and see you. And it's great to catch up. It's such a worldwide, international sport we're in. And like as I said, I met Michelle Payne in Newmarket last week, who I know her family really, really well. This week, Johnny Velasquez. You know, it's just amazing, really, you know, and as I said, we had a really good morning catching up at all times.
Yeah, great fun. What type of a jockey is he? Because every jockey's got their own style. You had your own style, Johnny. What style does he have?
See, John Velasquez only weighs about 51 kilos. So the weights in America are so light. You know, they have to ride in America, they have to ride 51, 52, 53 kilos. So he's 50 kilos. He's used to riding in America all the time on the dirt tracks, all to the clock. You know, he's like in his own backyard, and he's the main man. He's ridden over 150 Group 1 winners. He's ridden, I think he's ridden all the big classic races over there. But when you come over to America, when he comes over to Ireland and like Ascot last week, it's a whole different ball game. You know, 30 runners up the straight course in Ascot. Again, I put him on a couple of horses round our gallop there this morning. You know, different horses, different things. But like in America, he's like, as they say, he's a Hall of Famer. He's winning all the big races. He'd be in the top 5 in America, in the whole of America, and especially in the New York scene. He's the number 1 jockey.
So how are things going for you at the moment, Johnny? Look, I was looking at you there, 43 winners in Ireland last season. What's the day-to-day like? You're excited about the horses you have? Obviously, you're training for lots of owners at the moment, the Aga Khan being one of them.
Yeah, John, the things are going well. It's very competitive in Ireland at the moment. You know, I have to say, in the last 3 seasons, I think the standard of horses in Ireland has gone up again. You know, there's a lot of good horses in Ireland. I'm happy where we are at the moment. I think that was our 17th or 18th winner of the year so far. It's always nice to try and beat last year's tally, which is probably that's the aim. But the aim is like to have kind of group winners. We're more kind of trying to look for more quality horses all the time. I looked at the sheet there last night. We've a lot of horses rated 90 and above. which we always want to have horses rated 90, or horse of 90 and above is a good standard of horse. But when you have 90 and above, you're in better standard of races. The opposition is stronger. We want to win as many listed races and group races as we can. And as I said, with Aidan, Joseph, Dunica, Jesse, Ger Lyons, Willie McCreary, Ken Condon, Dermot Well, Jim Bulger, it's very, very competitive. But I'm happy where we are at the moment. We're 5th on the list in Ireland. I want to be in the top 5 on the trainers' rankings in Ireland, and making progression every year. And I feel we have, in the last couple of years, we have progressed. We have a good team of staff. We have very good young jockeys. And it's just all about sourcing the horses now. We just have to source better horses. And that's one thing I said to myself this year. On the off season, I'm going to start hustling again. The comfort zone is, I'm going to start hustling again, and you can back it up now. Like, your record as a jockey counts for nothing when you start as a trainer.
Yeah.
But now as a trainer, we're winning group races, we're winning group 1s, we're winning group 2s, we're winning group races for 2-year-olds. So have a bit of backing now, so I'll be able to go in there all guns blazing for the sales this year.
So you had Sonny Boy Liston won the Ledger. You had Chartash win last year at the Curragh,
Yes.
the Derby weekend, the 2-year-old. So how'd you spot one? How'd you spot, this is a good one?
Sure, listen, I don't think, listen, you're hoping with the good movement. As a 2-year-old, you go to buy them the sales. Good movement, good temperament, but you can't see inside. The dearest one is not the best one. Like, I bought horses cheap and they ended up, like, I bought Champers Elise at 26 grand. She wins a Group 1. Sonny Boy Liston, cheap, didn't cost a whole lot. Create Belief, 22 grand. So, unfortunately, looking at them, you can't see what's inside our heart. You can't see what's inside. Like people, when the going gets tough, some of them stay the same. Some of them get a little bit worse. But the good ones, they just keep getting better and better and better. Like top athletes. They're able to pull it out. They're able to dig deep when it really matters. But in our game, a lot goes on the breeding. So if you have good breeding in your horses, there's a good chance that will come through. And the stallions are important, but more so the mares. So good mares that have consistently bred good horses, they just seem to keep doing it. No matter what stallion you put them on, they seem to keep producing winners. And that is the key, I think. Now, the more I look at it, the more I think they need to have good mares with good backgrounds that have breeding winners consistently. But unfortunately, John, the dearest one is not always the best one, which is good for everybody in the game, because it's a game where you have to dream and you have to believe, and it suits me fine because I'm a bit of a dreamer.
So you rode all the best horses, Johnny. You won the Irish Derby 4 times. Sindar, who went on to win the Arc, had won at Epsom, Lamshire, Fame and Glory, Cape Blanco. Does it help the fact that you were a jockey when you sit on one, the feel of a horse that, this could be a promising horse?
Yeah, and that's a lot now what I used to go on. I used to go as a rider, go on the feel, the balance, the temperament. When you sat on a good one first time, you nearly knew. They were just that bit different. Everything was easier. They didn't get flustered about anything. It was all about the feel they gave you. And then, they were able to take their work. They were able to eat well. So, yeah, as a jockey, that was. But as a trainer, then, I'm not riding them out that much anymore. So I'm gone to the other side, what I'm seeing now and what the feedback I'm getting off my jockeys. And I'm around them 24/7. I live here. My yard is just out the road, out over the wall. I feed them in the mornings. I feed them last thing at night. And I get a good sense of them. It's hard to just get a sense of them. The signs are there. They're telling you signs every day. And when you're with them every day and seeing it, you can pick up on those signs. But I think I improved over COVID. I improved as a trainer over COVID. And I'm thinking, why is that? Because I was here 24/7. I didn't go anywhere. I was here morning, noon, and night every day. You couldn't go anywhere. You were here every day. So it's, just picking up on everything and attention to detail, just the little things. Like, horses can't talk, but maybe the way you know, that don't eat one day, or even the way they walk by you one day, you just think, oh. And we're not looking for mass improvement every morning on the gallops. We're just looking for consistency. And you nearly notice something not right than something drastically, you know, wrong. You know, it's you know, or huge improvement. You know, oh, did you see anything good this morning, Johnny? And I go, don't really want to see anything really good. I just want to see the same all the time. And that's how I kind of, that's how I kind of, and that's what I think the good trainers do. They're there all the time, and they pick up on all the little things that are not right, rather than look for these huge improvements every day, which are not there.
So when you go to the race course, it's a bit like a manager of a Gaelic Games team. Is the work already done? Is the training done? Is it just turning up then and just seeing how it all unfolds?
Everything is done. And when I was a rider, all the power was when the last little bit, I used to get all the power. I used to get up on them, and then the trainers would put you up, and you know, I'd had all my homework done. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was telling them, and like, it's nervous before the big races as a jockey. You know, just trying to keep everybody calm in the parade ring and just getting your message across, and probably leaving the owners and trainer saying, well, Johnny knows what he's doing. Let's just hope it works out. So they're a bit calmer then. But now you're a trainer, you've none of that. You give the jockey the leg up, and it's down to him. And I have to say, I'm pretty lucky at the moment. I've got a few good young jockeys who, they come out, they tell us what's happening, and you're hoping that the plan they have told you, they can carry it out. And but as you say, the work is all done. It's just getting them to the lads drive them up in the box. It's a matter of, you know, the routine is there. We get them out for a nice walk before the run, putting the saddle on at the right time, keeping them as calm as they can. And then, as I said, it's just down to the jockeys. It's down to the jockey to execute on the big day. And that's, and like, it's when I was a jockey, I used to think, well, I'll be on the next big one, the next big one, the next race. But as a trainer, you might only have one go at it. So if it doesn't go well, you know, you might have to wait 2-3 weeks to have another one, or maybe months to have another one. So it's only now I realize the importance of just getting it done, you know, just getting the job done.
Yeah, and do you also have to be kind of, because you're now a manager almost, you're a manager of a team, with the feedback, because you were a Derby winning jockey, you rode all the best horses, so Ben Cohen or somebody, do you have to sometimes take a breath if it doesn't go to plan, or if it does go to plan, like, to kind of not to go too high or too low with them?
Well, I'm learning, I'm learning a bit better. I was hard on them at the start, because like, I was probably too hard on a lot of them at the start. You know, they're only young lads, and I was hard on them, but I'm getting better at it now. And I know, like, I know the lads they're doing their best, and it doesn't always work. And I know myself, and most of the time, the horse is just not good enough. But when you're a trainer, you don't want to hear that. You think your horse is one of your babies, and you don't want to hear that. But if you go home and you analyze it, and it hasn't worked out, well, listen, you just have to accept it. I'm getting better at that. But it took a while. But no, listen, I fully faith now in the lads that have riding for me. And as I said, if I don't be blaming them. I'm the one that put them on. I'm the one that booked the jockey. So I believe them in the start. When it doesn't go right according to plan, you know, and I've been in those positions. You know, you get locked up on the inside. There's no room. You can't jump them. You know, you come back, you come round them, you come too late, or you make the run and then you just go that bit too soon. You get run down the last bit. I've been in those positions many a time. You know, they don't go out to do that. It just happens on the day that they move too soon or they move too late, and you have to accept that. But yeah, I can also see where the punters are coming from. You know, like, they're putting their money on, and if it doesn't win, just the jockey gets it in the neck, or the trainer gets it in the neck, and it's frustrating when you are losing money. But I believe most jockeys, I believe all jockeys, go out there to give their all, to do their very, very best, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't.
So the Curragh, how do you ride the Curragh then to the best of your ability? What are the little tricks and nuances of the Curragh?
See, the Derby track on the Curragh is not like the outer track. There's two tracks on the Curragh. People don't know this. But the Derby track opens up for the Derby. So the Derby track is sharper than the outside track. The outside track is outside. We've been racing on all year from the first start. And it's a much bigger, sweeping, galloping track. Where the Derby track is over on the inside. And it's quite sharp. Like there's a bend after going, I suppose after going half a furlong, there's a little bend there. So like the start is hugely important to that. It's a mile and a half. Oh, it's a mile and a half. You can do what you want. No, if you want to be in the good positions, you have to jump well and you have to get the good positions. And that's my experience. The good jockeys get the good positions. If I'm 10th my own, I'm going to jump out and going to be sitting third or fourth. I jump out and I sit third or fourth. And if I jump well, I can dictate to where I am. But if you jump bad and you're in behind, well, then they're dictating to you. So although the Curragh is a big galloping track, the inside track or the Derby track is sharper. It's climbing from, I'd say you're climbing from the 9 furlong marker, which is a mile and one, right up to the top of the hill to the 4 marker. So you're climbing for 5 furlongs, so you don't want to move early there. And then from the 4 down to the 2, you're kind of running downhill. So you don't want to go too soon there because sometimes you can get a bit of a roll on down the hill. And then you have that finish, that last 2 furlongs finish. So, but I have to say, the Curragh, 9 out of 10 horses, the best horse wins 9 out of 10 times because it's fair track, good gallop. The Derby especially, Aidan usually has loads of pace on. You know, he always has good pace. He believes he has the best horse. If it's a mile and a half run at a good pace, his horse is going to come out on top. So you can win from anywhere really. I've made the running in the Curragh and I've won. I've dropped in at the Curragh and I've won, and I've sat midfield in the Curragh and won. It just depends on the tempo of the race. So if you can, by looking at the form and you can see what the tempo of the race is, then you can ride accordingly. But there's no real secrets in the bar. You know, don't be 3 wide, don't move up the hill, and don't kick at the 4. They were my, you know, just be a bit patient downhill into the straight, and you have plenty of time in the straight.
They're your golden rules. So of the 4, obviously they're all special, but was there a favourite Derby win of your 4?
Well, listen, Sindar was the first, so that was, you know, he was after winning the Epsom Derby, so he was a great horse. I rode him out at home in Oxes. He was one of my favourites. That was special. And looking back on it now, I suppose I've just seen it this morning. It'll be 20 years since Alamshar bet Dalekani. You know, Soumion was riding for His Highness the Aga Khan in France. I was riding for him in Ireland. So the French Derby winner comes over. He takes on Alamshar, who's training the Curragh by John Ox. Now, he ran his 2 best horses in the Irish Derby, which is missing now. We're missing the French coming over now. See, the French Derby used to be a mile and a half, and now it's a mile and a quarter. And they used to come here, the Curragh, on loads of numerous occasions. You'd have the French Derby winner coming on, taking the Epsom Derby winner, and then whoever won was the king. But that doesn't happen anymore because the French Derby's gone to a mile and a quarter. They have a Group 1 in France in a couple of weeks' time, so they keep the powder dry for that. But on that day, I felt it was kind of France against Ireland. I felt it was riding for Ireland. And Soumion was the main man in France, but I said, there's no way he's going to beat me at the Curragh, you know. So it was a ding-dong battle. The 2 horses pulled clear, and I ended up winning the race. And so that one has fond memories. And as I said, seeing it on the video this morning, you know, it's only now you realise, looking back, like at the time when you're riding all these big winners, they don't last long. They just got gone. You're on to the next one. There's a mile handicap the next race. You better zone in for that one.
Yeah.
But the next set of owners wants you then. So it's only now when you look back you realise. And as I said, the 2 horses from Aidan were special as well. Fame and Glory and Cape Blanco. Like to win the Irish Derby 4 times, I'm very proud of that. It's up the road. It's my local track. It's the big race in Ireland. And, you know, as you said, it would be unfair to pick them. But I suppose if I had to pick one, it would be Alamshar against Dalekani because I felt I made a difference.
And we talk about maybe the lack of depth of competition there in the Irish Derby. Johnny, does that mean Auguste Rodin, who won at Epsom, is going to be very hard to beat this Sunday?
He is. I think he's, you know, and like I know by working down in Ballydoyle and with Aidan, like that horse going to improve from Epsom. He's going to improve going the 1.5 miles. He's got a couple of other runners in it, so it's going to be a nice even pace, which the horse likes. Jesse's horse and John Murphy's horse have a few. I think they're 5 lengths to make up. Maybe they will, but I think they're going to have to make up more than that, because I think Aidan's horse will improve. Yeah, it's disappointing, but they're so strong down there now at the moment in Ballydoyle with the 1.5 mile horses. They're just so strong, and people don't want to come over and take them on. They'll say, "We'll wait. Maybe we'll wait and we'll go for the Eclipse, or we'll go for the King George, or which is disappointing for the race, and we need it. We need it for the race, but Aidan hasn't won the last 2 years, but I think at 1 to 3, Auguste Rodin will be. He'd be very hard to oppose, and it's just going to be hard for the second favourite and the third favourite, the 2 horses I mentioned, just to make up that distance and upset the apple cart.
Yeah, Spraywell and White Birch.
Yeah.
What was interesting about Auguste Rodin winning, and you kind of touched upon this at the start of the chat, Johnny, Galileo, who was the key horse for getting all these, the key stallion in Ballydoyle down in Coolmore there, and all these champions coming out of Galileo's sire, as was the case with Sadler as well, as he passed away, and they've got to replace it. So there's a bit of worry because Frankel, they don't have him. And is Auguste Rodin then the kind of potential horse that could be the replacement for Galileo, or does it not work that way?
It could be, but they have a few of those 1.5 mile horses. They have Australia, they have Camelot. So I think the more emphasis on speed. I think you have the Wooden Basset, they're using Sayuni, because they have all the great mares by Galileo. They have all the great mares by Galileo. So well, it's only my opinion. I feel that they need to put speedier stallions on those mares. But a horse like Auguste Rodin, he'll have a big reputation. He's by Deep Impact. So he will play a big role. But like, I'd say if you give them a top class Guineas winner, that's the golden one now for the team down there. Just that speed influence again, to inject that speed back into all those brilliant mares that they have down there.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, are we going to see a shift where maybe like the English trainers that are getting backed, from the Gulf regions, are they going to maybe in the ascendancy in flat race in the next few years because of the fact that they have Frankel, or does it not really work that way?
Yeah, but like the Frankel, Dubawi, Sayuni, Wooden Basset, they're all young stallions, or they're all stallions coming to the fore now, and it will help them. It will help them. But I'll go back to my point to start. The brilliant mares they have, and like who more of a. They don't just stick. They'll send all those good mares. Like they send them to Japan. They send them to America. They send They send them to the best stallions that are going to suited by those mares. They'll not be saying, "Oh, we won't use Frankel." They'll use all those brilliant stallions as well, and because they have the brilliant mares down through the years, and that's like outside Galileo and outside all the great stallions, it's the brood mares they have. I think it's unbelievable.
Well, that's educational. I definitely find that. Ryan Moore, like even the ride on Auguste Rodin in the Derby, it was just very, very calm. He just seems to me to be a cut above the rest, and that's no disrespect to the other jockeys, but he just seems to me to be the guy at the moment.
He is. He's on a different level. I feel like I'm a bit like you. I think Frankie on the big day is, he's up there, but Ryan is he just likes riding horses. He just likes riding winners. He's very calm on the big day. The big day to him is the same as any other day. He's unflappable, that kind of way. He's strong. He's good left-handed. He's good right-handed. Doesn't matter whether he's riding in a sprint or a 1.5 miles. He's one of those elite jockeys now, and I agree. He's a 9 out of 10 every day of the week. 9 out of 10 jockey every day of the week, and he sets the standard. And I think it's going to be good for all those young lads in England, because there's a lot of good young lads coming through, trying to aim for him. And Ireland, like we've a lot of very good young lads in Ireland. They're coming through. But as I said, Ryan is there. He's the one. Like if I was a young jockey now, I'd be looking at him, and he'd be the target would be on his back. That's the guy. That's the guy I'm aiming to take down, because if I can mix it with him, I believe I'll be able to mix it worldwide. And that's the way I grew up. Like I grew up with Mick Kinane. Mick Kinane was going internationally. He was riding all the top winners around the world. So I was just looking at him and says, if I can mix it with him, if I can compete with him day in, day out in Ireland, I'll be able to go anywhere. And that's what drove us all on, us younger Irish lads, you know. And if I was a young lad now, and I just keep saying to my lads, Ryan Moore is the man. Ryan Moore's the man. If you want to compete, I'm judging you on Ryan Moore. Oh, that's hard. I was that's the bar. I'm not judging you on. I'm not judging on the 10th in the list. I'm judging or the £5 claimers or the £7 claimers. Ryan Moore is the man. I'm judging you on him. And if you cannot match it up there, which they're never going to really, but it's a good starting place. It's a good starting place to look at, rather than say, oh, I'm better than the fella that's 6th on the list. No,
you'd Leicester and you'd as well, and
well, they were all there. Like when I rode against Leicester, I rode against Pat Edery, Walter Swinburne was riding, Christy Roach was in Ireland, who was fierce competitive, Stephen Crane, Pat Gilson, Pat Shanahan. Like the cake in England is big because there's 4, 5, 6 meetings a day. There's one in Ireland. It's a small cake.
Yeah.
And the guys are hungry. They want a piece of that cake. And when you're with those, you know, when you're with those 4 or 5 big stables, then if you're with those stables, it was pretty intense, you know, because you knew if you got the better of Dermot Wells' jockey or Jim Bulger's jockey, or you know, you were gonna win a lot of races. But I think it made me the jockey I was today. I think it drove me on. I had a huge desire to compete with them. I had a huge desire to beat them. And I'm trying to instill that into my lads now, which maybe it'll drive them mad, but that's where they should be aiming.
Absolutely. I'm looking at your runners this weekend, Johnny. Mashur in the international stakes. He's won his last 2 starts. He runs on Saturday. Yeah,
he won a handicap in Cork, and then he won a listed race at the Curragh. This is the next step up. This is a Group 3 now. It's probably the best race he's going to be running in. There's only 5 runners, but it looks competitive. But he's going the right way. I feel he's in good form. The rain. I would have been worried if there was any firm in the ground, but the rain that's come, the ground should be absolutely beautiful at the Curragh. So yeah, I'm keen on him. I'm keen to how he shapes up. Is he ready to step up to Group 3 level? And I think he'll run well. He'll run well. Maybe Joseph's horse, if he comes back to his best, if he's a Group 1 horse, he'll beat him. But our lad is solid and he's ready to go.
Then we got Sunday, a few in the handicaps that they might not all run, but I got Rami, Blues Emperor, Shea, Safecracker.
They're all running.
Yeah.
They're all running. No, we've got 2 in the mile handicap, Rami and Blues Emperor, both last time out winners. Very competitive handicap. Rami won well, got him from France. He's starting to, I'm only getting to know him now. He's starting to go well. Blues Emperor lacks a bit of class, but very, very genuine. The rain that's around will really, really help him. Safecracker, I thought he'd win last time out. He's been second a few occasions, but again, he's carrying plenty weight. He keeps going up those 2 pounds every time in the handicap, but he's very genuine. He'll run well the mile and a half. I've got 2 fillies for His Highness Aga Khan. Shea, first time out winner last year, hasn't run this year, but I think she's well in. Silmania ran, she needed a run first time out. She's very quick, 5 furlongs should suit her. Jamie Powell is riding her, he's claiming 5 off her. And then we have the old warrior, Carry the One.
Yeah.
Again, the horse that's up there, Raid 101, has been rock solid this year. Listed race. I think he'll run well. He'll run his race, and listen, he's Raid 103. If there's one Raid 110, they'll beat him, but he always runs well. And I think a mile on the round track at the Curragh. So there's a round mile at the Curragh and there's a straight mile at the Curragh. And the round mile, it's not that it's easier, but you don't need, like, the straight mile really tests the stamina. Whereas I think the round mile should suit him well.
And do you have one that might have the best chance out of all of those?
Well, listen, Safecracker. I'm after. I thought he'd win the last day. He just got touched off. He's rock solid. Safecracker is probably my best chance of winner. But I have a few I like going into big weekends like this. Few chances, a little bit under the radar, and if you got one out of it, it's a good day's work.
Absolutely. And is there any horseman in the other yard you respect this weekend?
I haven't gone through it much. I don't really look at anybody else's horses anymore because I'm too busy looking at my own. So, listen, I'm looking forward to the Derby. I'm looking forward to see can Auguste Rodin, can he improve and go on and be the star we need. Like it's really only the start of the year for him. Although he's running the Irish Derby, if he could win the Irish Derby and then go on and win one of those big races, and as you said, Sindar was able to win the Arc. Like, that would be big Irish Champion Stakes Arc. They're big targets for him later in the year. And if he's going to go on and do them, he should win. He should win well at the Curragh, and I think he will. I think it sets up nicely for him. I think he's probably the star attraction.
I was down there having refreshments last year, Johnny, and I met you, and I really enjoyed that new facility at the Curragh. I think it's fantastic, that new stand. And look, there's a lot of competitive sports on. We've got the All-Ireland quarterfinals this weekend, but if people can get down to the Curragh, it's always a good day out, and it's always good to, even back to the Budweiser days, and as Dubai Duty Free now, the sponsor it, but just to get to the Derby and see some great racing and some excitement.
Yeah, well, listen, that's up to us. That's up to us, the racing people. We kind of maybe rest on our laurels a bit, think we're in race and everybody knows about. But as you said, there's lots of other sports there now. You can turn on the TV, and that's one thing about the TV. The coverage is so good on the TV. Sometimes I just sit home and watch it. You've got great people analysing all the races. You don't miss a beat, and it's easy to sit at home. But the weather plays a big part of it. If it's sunny this weekend at the Curragh, there's no better place to be. You're going to see top class, world class horses, top class jockeys, and you can get up close and personal to them and enjoy what is. It's our biggest day. It's our biggest 3 days at the Curragh. We need to showcase it in the best possible way, and hopefully we get some racing fans down and they can enjoy it also.
Johnny Murtagh, you're a legend as always, speaking to Off the Ball Saturday here on News Talk. Continued success and the best of luck for the rest of the season.